Hey there. In this video I want to show off my different draw knives that I use on a daily basis and then go over the different features on the draw knives that allow you to use them effectively. So let's get started.
Here I have 3 draw knives that I own. Some get more use than others. So here in the bottom and the top we have 2 antique draw knives. These are both old, and these are both a Witherby brand. That's W-I-T-H-E-R-B-Y. They are one of the higher end brands that you'll see in the old draw knives, and they have a laminate of high carbon steel in a wrought iron body. If you're looking for one of these before you make a purchase, make sure that you can see the line where the high carbon steel edge is somewhere on the draw knife. You can see it more clearly on the back of this one. You can see the color difference right there. You want to make sure that the draw knife still has that on it in order for it to cut properly. On these older Witherby draw knives too, they all have maple handles. This one has a stain or a finish on it. This one is raw, and it's a through tang with a peen on the end. Some draw knives you'll find have handles that can be adjusted into different areas. I don't like these draw knives. I think it's kind of gimmicky, and they really don't work well. So find yourself a draw knife that has a fixed handle and does not move. Common draw knife length that you will find, and that is going to work for you for most of your projects, is going to be an 8-inch draw knife blade. So this is an 8-inch, and this is a 12-inch draw knife. For most things, this is way too large. Here is a modern day draw knife that is also an 8-inch. So let's look at the shape of these draw knives and how that affects things. If we look here, we can see that the draw knife has a curve this way, or on this one is actually downwards, but they're not straight, they're not flat. On the modern day draw knife, we also have a curve downwards. Get the draw knife straight from the top, we can see that it has a fuller right here. It's not just a simple, it's not a singular bevel from spine to edge. It does have different shapes going on. See, fuller right here. If we look down at the angle of the handles to the draw knife in relation to the blade, we can see that they are also at a downward angle. Any quality draw knife will have handles at a downward angle. What this is going to give us is a lot more leverage and power in the draw knife. Now the actual cutting edge on these draw knives are convex ground. They're not flat or hollow ground. Occasionally the backs of the draw knives will have a very slight concave or hollow grind. Sometimes they are just simply flat on the back. I have been using the 8-inch Witherby draw knife here for a very long time. This was actually the draw knife that I learned on. When it comes to using a draw knife, I'm self-taught. I have learned simply from using it a lot what works fastest, what works best. And so this draw knife I got for $5 and restored it myself, sharpened it up, and I have been using it for a while. This, like I said, is also a Witherby brand draw knife, but it's a 12-inch. This was gifted to me, and I restored it as well. I have used it only a few times on axe handles. It's really too large for axe handle. When the draw knife is too large for your work, it's actually inefficient and takes you longer to get the job done. So this draw knife does not get used very often. I will put it aside, and we can focus on these 2 draw knives right here. So here we have a modern day 8-inch draw knife and the antique Witherby 8-inch draw knife. Both are very similar. This is a Ben Orford brand draw knife. The Ben Orford draw knife has an ash handle and copper tops. The Witherby comes with maple and a mild steel or wrought iron cap. The modern day Ben Orford draw knife is a mono steel. There's no forge welding involved. This is a 5160 high carbon steel blade, whereas this has a forge welded high carbon steel edge in the center. The Ben Orford draw knife is curved correctly. It has a downward curve on the actual cutting edge, and then the handles are canted at a downward angle for more leverage as well. The only main differences that you see on the Ben Orford draw knife versus some of these antique draw knives is it does not have this distinct fuller right here. This is the same thickness from here to here, and then has a convex edge that's much wider than this. The exact reasoning behind that, I can't be for sure. My guess is that this fuller reduced the amount of material that they need to produce the draw knife, thus reducing costs. It also reduces the thickness and the surface area that the draw knife has to be cut through the wood, making this a little bit easier to pull, perhaps. But I don't have any problems using the Ben Orford knife either. Both of these draw knives work essentially the same. There aren't many modern day draw knives out there that can go up against these old Witherby draw knives. These are just tools that were meant to last for a long time and work really well. But there are a few out there. One of them is the Ben Orford draw knife. This came to me very sharp. However, it was not sharpened quite properly. It could not handle the hardwoods that I was using, so I did have to put my own convex edge on it. But after I did that, this draw knife performs really well, just as good, if not maybe a little bit better than the old Witherbys. So in a nutshell, if you're out looking for a draw knife and you're looking at antique draw knives, make sure that there aren't any major checks in the handles. These caps are peened over and not loosened. The handles are not adjustable. You want a fixed handle draw knife. The blade has a sway either upwards or downwards, and the handles are canted at an angle. Also check to make sure that the edge has high carbon steel forge welded in it and it is not ground back to the wrought iron.
Hey, thanks for sticking out to the end of the video. I hope that you found that informative. I was just trying to go over the key points, the key features of a good draw knife. And so when you go out to buy a draw knife, you can just look for those defining curves and whatnot that I went over. And really, if the draw knife has that, you can't go wrong. You just need to sharpen it up properly after that, and you'll be good to go. I'm coming out with a follow-up video very soon on my channel. That is going to be going over how to actually use the draw knife powerfully and effectively. You know, I use a draw knife to earn a living, and when you're doing that, you need to know how to use that tool efficiently in order to be profitable. So there's a few things that I've learned, and I'm going to share that with you. So look for this video. It is all going to be about technique, how to properly use your body and the tool together to really remove material quickly. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and I will catch you next time.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.